Adhar Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So welcome to the Bhagavad Gita chapter 8 Yoga Mishra Bhakti Yoga or attaining the Supreme. And we have been discussing this 8th chapter quite a few days now. And we have seen how, based on the Mokshakami, who knows these 6 items and who also knows the Lord at the time of death, which was spoken by the Lord in 7.29 and 30, Arjuna will ask what are these 6 terms, and also the 7th, how one remembers you at the time of death. And based on Arjuna's question, the 6 questions, Krishna just gives these terms, definitions in 2 verses. And again in the Gita, it will not come up, although these are very technical and philosophical. But the 7th question, remembrance of Krishna at death, that principle he speaks, and whatever you remember, that state you will attain. And that's why one should tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yuddhacha. And then how to do that? Abhyasa yogena. So 9 to 13 spoke about remembrance by Yoga Mishra Bhakti. 14 and 15 spoke about remembrance by Shuddha Bhakti. Ananya Cheta Satatam. And then 16 to 22 is what we have been discussing, remembrance by comparing natures of the material and the spiritual. So in this section, we saw how the material world, Sahasra Yuga Paryantam. Even if you are in the Brahma Loka, you have to come back. This is the nature. Oh, 16 to 22 should be here, this slide. That's what even I was wondering. Even if you are on Brahma Loka, you have to come back. But one who reaches me doesn't come back. Punarjanma na vidyate. So this is comparison. And then the day of Brahma. We saw this yesterday, whole calculation. So sannyasis who reach Brahma Loka, there is fearlessness. No, if Brahma only has to, die, then what to speak of those who are sannyasis who reach the Brahma Loka. But a Vaishnava, a Brahma who is a Vaishnava, he attains liberation. And this goes through Avyakta and then Vyakta. And then they all, during the day part time, the living entities manifest. In the night of Brahma, they are all annihilated and they sleep along with Brahma. And like that, Bhuta Grama Evayam Bhutva Bhutva Praliyate. So repeated, day and night. In the daytime, the living entities are given bodies. In the night time, all the bodies are taken away. And the living entities sleep in the body of Brahma. So now he's comparing Parastasmatu Bhavanyo Vyakto Avyaktat Sanatana Yahasa Sarveshu Bhuteshu Nasyatsu Na Vinashati. Superior to the unmanifest state of Brahma is night. Tasmat Avyakta to para means superior to that. Is another unmanifest state which is eternal. Anya Sanatana Vyakta Bhava. Now here you have to understand a little clearly. Now in the previous verse, of course it will come, the terminologies will come, but I'm just going to the previous verse. Here. Avyakta, the Vyakta. So the Avyakta term is unmanifest. And the Vyakta is manifest. The manifestation of the bodies and unmanifestation of the bodies. And this, they are Avyakta in the Ratri, and in the Aha, they are Vyakta, manifest. So that is how these terms have been used. But when Krishna speaks this Parastasmatu Bhava Anya, there is another nature, spiritual nature, which is Vyakta avyaktat sanatana. There is another nature which is superior to this unmanifest state of Brahma. And it is also avyakta. But here avyakta has a different meaning. So that's what you have to understand, not the meaning what is there in the previous verse. So the words are multivalent. We spoke about it, and the meaning will change in the context. So there is another unmanifest state. But this unmanifest state is sanatana. It is qualified by the term sanatana. It is eternal. Anya sanatana avyakta means it is unmanifested to the material eyes. In that sense, it is being. And the nature is what? Which is not destroyed. Ya na vinashati, but there it is, destroyed. When everything else is destroyed. Sarveshu bhuteshu nasyatsu. The whole material creation is destroyed. Not to speak of Brahma's day. And Brahma's 100 days are over, everything is yahasa sarveshu bhuteshu nasyatsu. So this is what is being spoken. It will become more clear in the next verse also. Superior to that state of dissolution, I'm reading Vishwanath Chakravarti's commentary, to the Hiranyagarbha or Brahma. So Brahma is sometimes called as Hiranyagarbha. Superior to what has been so far discussed, Para Tasmat Avyakta is another state, the cause of Hiranyagarbha. The cause of Hiranyagarbha is Mahavishnu, or you can say it is Narayan, which is indeed unmanifest, avyakta, and without beginning, sanatana. It is eternal. That Dham is eternal. It doesn't go through this, creation and destruction. It's always eternal abode. And now that avyakta has been clarified. Avyakto shara iti uktah tamaho paramam gatim yam prapye na nivartante tadhama paramam mama. That which is described as eternal and unmanifest, avyakta, akshara. Akshara means it is eternal. Iti ukta. It is called the supreme goal. Tam ahu paramam gatim. It is a gati goal, but it is paramam gatim, supreme goal. Attaining that eternal form. Yam mam paramam, yam mama paramam dhama prapya. They do not return. Na nivartante. So here now multivalence of the word. In 8, 18 and 20, avyakta is unmanifest matter. In 21, avyakta is spiritual, that is not manifest to material vision. So that is what here avyakta means. It doesn't go through avyakta and vyakta. It is manifest and unmanifest. No, it is eternal, but it is not manifest to material vision. So that is the meaning of the term avyakta here. The word avyakta in the previous verse is explained. So in the previous verse, the term avyakta was mentioned, that it is eternal. So this word is being explained in this verse. That's what Vishwanath Chakravarti is trying to say. The word avyakta in the previous verse is explained. That which is avyakta is without destruction. Akshara. It is without destruction. Narayan. Brahma Aksharam. The syllables of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra or Om are Akshara. And the soul is also Akshara. And the super soul is also Akshara. And the Supreme Lord is also Akshara. Absolute truth is Akshara, like that. But here it is mentioned it is Narayan. And then Vishwanath Chakravarti gives Praman. As the Shruti says, Eko Narayan Asin na Brahma na cha Shankaraha. Only Narayan existed. Eko Narayan Asin and not Brahma. Na Brahma, na cha Shankar, nor Shiva. Note, Eko ha vai Narayan Asin na Brahma na Ishano is found in the Maha Upanishads. The quotation is probably another version of the same passage. So this is in the Maha Upanishad. There is also in Narayan Upanishad very similar verse. Attaining my eternal form, mama paramam dhamam, they do not return. So they attain my eternal form. Now, the word akshara may also be interpreted as the impersonal Brahman, because words are multivalent. And here, in this context, it is Narayan. But if you take it as impersonal Brahman, in which case Dhama Parama Mamam refers to my form of light. Since Dham also means light. So this is speaking about the yogis and jnanis who attain the Brahma Jyoti. Note, this would be the attainment of the jnanis and yogis who also perform a small amount of bhakti without offense. So they attain that. Now, how you can attain that Lord who is in that Dham? Purusha sa para partha bhaktya labhyastu ananyaya yasyantastani bhutani yena sarvam idam tata. The Supreme Person, Saha Para Purusha. He is a Para Purusha. He is a transcendental person within whom exist all entities. Yasya antastani bhutani, by which this universe is pervaded. Yena sarvam idam tatam is attained by pure Ananya Bhakti. Ananya Bhaktya to Labhya, O son of Partha. So this is also a verse which you can say is speaking about in the 8th chapter, it was 8.14, Ananya Cheta Satatam, and then 8.22. Both speak about Ananya Bhakti. How you can attain that person? By Ananya Bhakti only, and no other way. That Supreme Person who is just my Amsha cannot be known by other means which have in them desires for Karma Yoga or Jnana Yoga. So that Purusha, that person who is just a Amsha, can be not known by any other means. It cannot be known, which have in them desires of Sakama and Jnana Yoga. As I previously said, Ananya Cheta Satatam. Only by Ananya Cheta Satatam it is possible. That's what Vishwan Chandra Thakur writes a brief commentary on this. So here ends this section. Now the last section is a very simple section, 23 to 28, which we will take up now. But before we take up that, regarding the previous section, anyone has any questions? Any questions, any clarifications? Yes, Tukaram Mishkin Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes.
The latter part of Avyakta refers to Golok Vrindavan or all the...
No, all the entire spiritual world. It is, Abhyakta, then if you say it is not Vaikuntha, that means Vaikuntha is manifest to our material vision now.
No.
No, it refers to the entire spiritual world.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Nice question. Okay, so now we'll come to this last section. It's a simple, of course, these 2-3 verses are a little technical, but for us, it's not so much important to know them. But within the flow, let's try to understand. Now, remembrance by Bhakti Yoga is easier than by Ashtanga Yoga. So understanding how difficult it is by Ashtanga Yoga and it is easy by Bhakti Yoga, by that also, there is remembrance. Yatra kale tva anavritam avritam chaiva yogina prayata yanti tam kalam vakshyami bharatarshava. O best of the Bharat lineage, Bharatarshava, I will now explain Vakshami about the paths, Yatra Kala. The Kala can refer to time, but here Kala refers to path, by which the yogis, yogina, return or do not return. Now, this yogis who return or don't return, this is which type of yogis? This has to be very, very clear. And Vishnu Shankar Thakur will make it clear. You have said in verse 21 that anyone who attains you does not come back. But you have not mentioned about any particular path that the devotee must traverse. It's not mentioned which path the devotee should traverse. Since the devotee is beyond the gunas, his path is also beyond the gunas. Not a sattvic path such as going through the sun planet. So it is not the sattvic path going through the sun planet. But I am asking about the path taken by yogis, jnanis, and karmis. So, what is the path taken by the yogis, jnanis, and karmis? Now, this is all elaborated, in fact, in the second canto, second and third chapter, specifically the second canto, second chapter, Srimad Bhagavatam. How the Bhakti Mishra Yogi, through the Archadi Mag, first enters Vaishnavar Loka and then from there Mahar Loka, Jana Loka, then Brahma Loka or Satya Loka. And he can stay there till the life of Brahma, or he can penetrate the layers and attain liberation. So, especially the yogis and the jnanis, the karmis in one sense through karma kanda can reach up till heaven. But they come back. But these two don't come back. Because one reason is, along with their yoga practice, there is a bhakti element there. The bhakti element is there. And because of the bhakti element in their jnana or yoga sadhana, it is only that bhakti, which is although guni bhuta bhakti, that bhakti gives them the fruit of liberation first. And these yogis and jnanis also have to give up their yogangas and jnanangas. They have to take sannyas from that. And just on that bhakti, they attain liberation. So because sattva, these paths are in sattva, but sattva cannot give liberation. So that's the point. So there is the worship of the Lord. There is bhakti, but it is, Ashtanga yoga or Jnana yoga. And this is called as bhakti, bhakti mishra jnana, bhakti mishra yoga, bhakti mishra karma, or karma yoga, jnana yoga, or Ashtanga yoga. I hope you are now clear with this terminology. I will speak about the path, column of return and no return that they traverse when they have died. So this is path of no return for Jnanis and Yogis. It is called as the Devayana, and this is called as the Pitrayana, where they return. Note, Kala usually refers time, but in this context means path. Bhaktara Thakur, my one-pointed devotees attain me without any difficulty. However, those who have not attained my exclusive devotion, Ananya Bhakti, having faith in karma and gyan, pass through extreme difficulties to attain me. Whether or not the yogis take another birth depends on the time and the place of their departure. Yatra Kala, based on the time and departure. Please listen as I describe their destination and explain to you the difficult times at which, passing away from this world, they do or do not return. So let me complete this section and then I will take up questions. Now, those who don't come back. Agni Jyoti Aha Shukla Sanmasa Uttarayanam Tatra Prayat Gachanti Brahma Vido Jana. The knowers of Brahman. So the knowers of Brahma can refer to the absolute truth as Bhagavan, but here it is Jnanis. The knowers of Brahman, Jnanis, Brahma Vidu Jana, who depart Tatra Prayata on the path of fire and light. Agni Jyoti, the waxing fortnight, and the northern progress of the sun. Aha Shukla. This is Shukla. Krishna Paksha, Shukla Paksha. So it is Shukla Paksha. Sanmasa Uttarayan, when the north sun is moving towards the north, attain Brahma. Brahma Gacchati. He speaks in this verse about the path of no return. The words Agni, Jyoti, fire, and light indicate the presiding deities of the sun according to Shruti statement. Te Archisam Abhisambhavati. They go to the sun planet. So in the Shrutis also this path is being given. And in the second canto of the second chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, elaborate discussion is there how the Ashtanga Yogi leads to the Archa Adi Marga. Aha indicates the deity of the day, and Shukla indicates the deity of the fortnight of the waxing moon. So everything has a, there is a deity for the day, deity for Pakshas, Shukla Paksha, Krishna Paksha, there's a deity for the mass Now the Adhik Maas is going on. So the Adhik Maas is what is called as the Purushottam Maas. So every Maas, the presiding goddess is there, but now it is named after the Lord only. The Devi has got the name of the Lord, and that's why this is called as Purushottam Maas. The 6 months of the Uttarayan. So the 6 months, are called as Uttarayan. So there is also the presiding deity, means the deity who presides over the Uttarayan. For Dakshinayana, there is another deity. And for these Ritus, 6 seasons, there are also presiding deities. So everything is a personality. And in the material world, because we want to enjoy, everything, if the person is there as Krishna, who is supreme enjoyer, we know, then we cannot enjoy. So everything is, um, it is made impersonal for us here, so that we can forget God and enjoy. But even in the material world, everything you see, there is a personality. Like you see, electricity. It looks like, this current electricity is impersonal. But the powerhouse is there where electricity is produced, and there is an engineer, and there is a, you know, ministry of power, who's a minister, who's a person. He's a devta in one sense, like that. There is water, like that, every energy you see, although the energy looks impersonal, but there is a personality behind that energy. So here also there are presiding deities. The Jnanis, Brahmavida, who go to the path of these devtas, attain Brahman. So, Devayan, I mentioned, path of the devtas. That's why it is called as Devayan. As the Shruti says, Te Richanam, Archinam is it, but is not pronounced here. Abhi, Sambhavanti, Archino, Rahana, Apuramana, Paksha, Apuramana, Pakshad, Yan, San, Masa Anu, Dattaditya, Eva, Malobhyo, Devalokam. They reach the deity of fire. Te Archinam Abhi Sambhavati. From there, they go to the deity of the day. Ahan Arche Ahan Aha day. From there, they did go to the deity of waxing, fortnight, Paksham, Apuramana, Pakshat, and from there to the Uttarayan deity. Yan San Mas Anu Tattaditya Eti Malubhya Deval. And they get purified. So this is the path of Devayan. Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Those who know Brahman only it is. Brahman is a neuter gender, Brahma is a masculine gender, and Brahmi is a feminine gender. Aisha Brahmi Sthita, situated like this. So that refers to the internal energy, Srimati Radharani. So Brahmi is also there, that is feminine. But Brahma is masculine here. Brahman is neuter. The supreme absolute, and those who know the Brahma, the supreme absolute, and who give up their bodies at the time of fire and light on auspicious day, and when the sun is in the northern coast, attain Brahma. Uttarayan. The word Agni and Jyoti refer to the presiding demigod of Archi, light. Agni is Archi. And the word Aha refers to the presiding demigod of day. The word Shukla refers to the presiding demigod of bright fortnight, and the Uttarayan refers to the demigod presiding over the 6 months of the sun's northern course. The only course for a yogis, of a yogis or for the yogis, something is mistake here. Desiring to attain Brahma is to successively pass through the day, the bright fortnight, and so forth at a particular time when the mind and senses are satisfied and joyful. So, the example is given, I think Prabhupada gives this example, just like in the Olympic Games, they carry this fire lamp, or the torch, and one runner goes and gives it to another one, like that they give it to another one, and then they go to that huge stamba, something like that, not a stamba, but huge post, and they light that, and the whole thing blazes into fire. So similarly, the soul has to pass through all these presiding deities one after another, and then it can reach Brahman. Yogis who die at the times never return. At these times, never return to this world. Okay, then those who return. Dhumo ratri sata Krishna sanmasa dakshinayanam tatra chandramasam jyoti yogi prapya nivartate. Departing on the path of smoke, the night, the waning fortnight, Dhumo ratri tata Krishna, the southern course of the sun, sanmasa dakshinayanam, and attaining Swargaloka. Tatra chandramasam jyotir prapya, the karma yogi returns. Yogi nivartate. This verse describes the path of return taken by the karmi. Smoke indicates the deity of smoke, and similarly, night indicates the deity of night. Similarly, there is a deity of the dark fortnight and the deity of Dakshinai. The karma yogi who goes on the path represented by these devatas attains Swarga, indicated by the words Chandramasam Jyoti. Having enjoyed there, he returns. This is the karma yogis or the karma kandis. Now, these are these two plots. Shukla Krishne Gatihi Ete Jagata Shashwati Mate Ekaya Yati Anavrittam Anyaya Vartate Punaha. These two paths, the light of light and dark, Ete Shukla Krishne Gati, are accepted in this world as being without beginning. Jagata Shashwate Mate. By one path, one does not return. Ekaya Yati Anavrittam. And by the other path, one returns. Anyaya Avartate Puna. The Lord summarizes the two paths mentioned. They are considered without beginning, Shashwati. That means they are the paths spoken in the Vedas. Since the transmigration of jivas is without beginning, by the path of light, one attains no return, and the path of darkness, one takes birth again and again on earth. Now, the devotees, which path they choose? That was Arjuna's doubt, which path we choose. Now Krishna speaks it. Naiti Shriti Partha Janan Yogi Muyyanti Kasyana Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Yoga Yukto Bhavarjuna. The yogi who knows, Yogi Janan. Now, yogi, let's see, let's test. Here, yogi refers to whom? Let us see who will answer this. Refers to whom? Whether the karma yogi, the jnana yogi, the ashtanga yogi, or the yoga mishra bhakta yogi, or the bhakta yogi. Bhakta yogi means here ananya bhakta. So who will answer? Tukaram Mishkin Prabhuji. Yes.
Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes.
Dandavatam. But I
Yes,
will
yes.
try.
Yeah.
Jnana Yogi.
Yeah, Yogi, that is your understanding. Any other thoughts anyone has? Dear Krishna Prabhuji. Let's see. Chakram Prabhuji, according to you, whom it refers to yogi here? Whom does it refer? Are you there?
Yes, Bhuja, I'm here, I'm listening.
You're thinking.
Yes, what?
If you're thinking, that means you don't know. Right?
True.
Okay. Govinda Nandini Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Gyan Yogi.
Okay. Vinita Mataji. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, could it be Bhakta Yogi?
Why you say could it be? Why you can't tell firmly?
Because a devotee is not worried about anything. He's only trusting
Yeah,
the Lord.
that is what your statement should be, not with little ambiguity. It should be firm. That's what is my point.
I was trying,
Yeah.
Prabhuji. I was.
So why
yeah.
you say that, it is the Bhakti Yogi here?
Because he may not get disturbed that he's going by day or night. He knows that he's been chanting.
No, because Krishna has already spoken about the path of jnanis, yogis, and
Yes.
karmis.
Yes.
But what path the bhakta is going to take, that was Arjuna's doubt. And Krishna is now explaining this verse to explain which path the bhakti yogi doesn't worry about these two paths because he thinks about Krishna. And that's why Tasmat
Yes.
Sarveshu Kaleshu become Yog Yukta Bhava. Therefore, at all times, Sarveshu Kaleshu have a concentrated mind. Yog Yukta Bhava Arjuna means
He's
worship me
focused.
and you
Yes.
need not worry about these two paths. Prabhupada's purport, one should read very carefully. Prabhupada says a devotee can live by arrangement or accident. Prabhupada says. Many
I
times
took it
devotees.
from there only, Prabhuji. I took it from there.
Pardon?
I took the answer from there only.
Yes, yes. I was going to say that we should read Prabhupada's purports very, very meticulously and scrutinizingly and understand it. Otherwise, our understanding will be superficial, our practice of bhakti will be superficial, although we might have a Bhakti Shastri certificate, but years might pass up. But, to become Krishna conscious, we have to go deep into the Bhakti Vedanta purports. So, and Bhakti Vedanta purports are like deep like a ocean. Only when you dive deep, then you can get the pearls. Okay. So, here it is referring to now the Bhakti Yogi. Knowledge of these two paths produce a sense of discrimination. This verse praises such discrimination. Therefore, at all times, you should have a concentrated mind, Yoga Yukta. Devotees are never deluded because they remain fixed in Bhakti Yoga with knowledge that is based on Tattva. Devotees are never deluded. That's why if a pure devotee leaves by accident, oh, maybe he left because of some karma. When you come to this understanding, that means you have not understood Bhakti and you are not situated in Tattva. And that's why you make such mental speculations. It's very surprising. After practicing Krishna consciousness for 15 years, 20 years, if the spiritual master leaves by accident, or maybe because of some karma. No, Prabhupada is saying in his purports, it doesn't matter by accident or arrangement. He will reach the Lord. And why the Lord arranges like that? Just to bewilder us. Even Krishna leaving, he left because of a hunter shooting an arrow, right? These are all illusionary things to bewilder the materialist. And if devotees are on the Kanishta platform, Prakrita means, materialistic devotee, then they are bewildered like that. That is why you have to develop deep faith in Shastra and attain Shastriya Shraddha. And based on Tattva. Therefore, they know the real distinction between these two paths and they take shelter of path of bhakti, which transcends both. It transcends both. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is more clarifying and Prabhupada, presents more points from Bhaktivinoda Thakur's commentary. That is, they take shelter of one pointed devotion or Ananya Bhakti Yoga, knowing both paths to be miserable. For a Bhakti Yogi, Swarga is, Keval Narakayate. And liberation, Brahma Sayuj is what? It is hellish. It is suicidal for him. Both are miserable. Therefore, Arjuna, you should take shelter of yoga only. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu yoga yukta bhava Arjuna. So, take yoga means bhakti yoga or ananya. And now he glorifies this yogi, how he transcends all these other paths. भेदेषु यज्ञेषु तपस्सु चैव दानेषु यत् पुण्यफलं प्रदिष्टम् अत्तेति तत्सर्वमिदं विदित्वा योगी परं स्थानमुपैति चाद्यम्. Knowing this, idam viditva. Now, idam viditva refers to what? Let us see who will answer. Idam viditva. refers to what? Who will answer this? Idam viditva Bir Pushpauji.
Hare Krishna, Guru.
Yes.
Knowing with the here it refers to knowing these two paths.
Yes. Excellent. And he doesn't, follow these two paths. And he follows the bhakti
Yes,
path. The
yes.
yogi endowed with devotion. So here the yogi is bhakti yogi again. Surpasses. Some distraction there. Surpasses all the pious results. Atteti tat sarvam punyaphalam. Declared pradishtitam by the studying of Vedas, performance of sacrifice, yedeshu, yaggeshu, austerity and giving charity, tapashu, daneshu. He attains the spiritual eternal place. Adyam paramam sthanam upayati. So all these activities we do, Vedeshu, Yaggeshu, Daneshu, Tapassu, Daneshu, all we acquire Punya Phala. But ultimately, if you only acquire this Punya Phala, and by that you don't get an association of a sadhu and attain bhakti, then it is all Shama Vivekavilam. Because with that Punya, you can go to Swarga, but again you will have to come back. There is yogi, but he attains the spiritual kingdom. This verse relates to the results of knowing that which has been explained in this chapter. Entire chapter this summarizes. Prabhupada's purport, please read very, very carefully. And I will go through that because I'll go through one paragraph because it is very, very relevant. Surpassing ateti, all the results of other processes. So Ananya Bhakti surpasses the results of all other processes, right? The result of Karma Yoga is Swaraga, the result of Jnana and Ashtanga is liberation, and the result of even Yoga Mishra Bhakti is what? Salokya. But Ananya Bhakti surpasses the results of all other processes. The yogi possessing devotion attains the best place, which is non-material, param, and eternal. Note, this seems to indicate that this verse refers to Yoga Mishra Bhakta. This verse indicates Yoga Mishra Bhakta. That's what Vishwanath Bhanu Maharaj is writing footnote. A more yogi without bhakti could not attain the place of the Lord or even liberation. A yogi with small amount of bhakti could attain liberation. Such yogis were described in chapter 6. A devotee with some mixture of yoga however attains salokya. So that is a gradation. But Prabhupada takes directly this as Ananya Bhakti also or Shuddha Bhakti. And as I mentioned, I would like to take this opportunity because it's very, very relevant that we understand what Prabhupada is trying to say in his purport. And that is related to our study of Bhagavad Gita. This is one of my favorite quotations. So Prabhupada in the purport says, this is summary of 7th and 8th chapters, which deals with Krishna consciousness and devotional service. One has to study Vedas, brahmachari life, do penances, tapasya, live at the home of the spiritual master, beg alms, and then observe brahmacharya, and then 5 to 25 does this study of the Vedas, after training, then he has to become grahastha, and then he has to do daneshu, and he has to do yagyas, then tapasya in vanaprastha, and then sannyas. Now these sannyasis, Prabhupada is speaking, by sannyas one can attain perfection. Some of them, are then elevated to heavenly kingdoms. And when they become even more advanced, they are liberated in the spiritual sky, either in the impersonal Brahmajyoti or Vaikuntha. Depends on what path they take. And this is the path outlined in the Vedic literatures. So Prabhupada is here summarizing, heavenly kingdoms, the Karma Yogis, impersonal Jnana Yogis, Ashtanga Yogis, Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha, who it is? Tell me, let us see how much you have grasped now this chapter. Vaikuntha is who? Let us see. Sri Lalita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. uh,
Who attains Salokya?
devotees who have a little bit of mixture of Salokya, devotees who have mixture of any other uh,
First, you tell me whether the mixture of yoga and little bhakti is there, or there is bhakti and little mixture of yoga.
bhakti and little bit yoga, then they go to Salokya.
What is that
Yoga
bhakti
and
called? What is that bhakti called?
Mishra Bhakti, Pradhani Bhut.
Pradhani Beat. And that bhakti is
Pradhani
called as
Bhut.
Yoga Mishra Bhakti.
Yeah, Yoga Mishra Bhakti. Yeah.
And where bhakti is pradhan, but it is a mixture of yoga.
Yeah.
So Prabhupada is covering all these three. Then he says the beauty of Krishna consciousness. However, is that by one stroke engaged in lesson, one can surpass all the results of rituals of different orders. Atteti yat sarvam viditva. That means one need not do, dana, yajna, tapa. All angas of bhakti are executed by this, So yajna we do nam yajna, yajna nam japa yajnasmi. Tapa is, following the regulative principles given by the Acharya, the principles of bhakti. Dana is we donate for only Krishna's sake. Krishna's temple, building temple, all these activities related to only devotional service, like that. So all these are the beauty of Krishna consciousness. Then idam viditva, Prabhupada says, one should understand the instructions given by Sri Krishna in this chapter and 6 and 7. One should try to understand these chapters not by scholarship or mental separation, but by hearing them in the association of devotees. Chapter 7 to 12 are the essence of Bhagavad Gita. The first 6 and the last 6 chapters are coverings for the middle 6 chapters, which are especially protected by the Lord. If one is fortunate to understand Bhagavad Gita, especially these middle 6 in the association, then his life at once becomes pure beyond all sacrifices, penances, speculations. For one can achieve all the results of this simply by Krishna consciousness. Now comes this paragraph. One who has little faith in Bhagavad Gita should learn Bhagavad Gita from a devotee, because in the beginning of the 4th chapter, it is clearly stated that Bhagavad Gita can be understood only by devotees. No one else can perfectly understand the purpose of Bhagavad Gita. So we come inquisite. We are Sukrutina, and we come and we attend the Bhagavad Gita course. There is some little Shraddha which is generated, and then this is a sign of faith. One should learn Bhagavad Gita from a devotee, and not from a devotee. This is fine. Now, Prabhupada says, when one searches for a devotee, what Prabhupada is saying, one searches for a devotee and fortunately gets the devotee's association. Prabhupada says one actually begins to study and understand the Bhagavad Gita. So if you are in little faith and you're just here learning the Bhagavad Gita, that is not sufficient. You have to search for a devotee, and you should become fortunate, and you should get that devotee. And if you're searching, Krishna will, as a Chaitya Guru, guide also. And when actually begins to study and understand Bhagavad Gita, and then by advancement in association of devotee, one will play it in devotional service. Then his bhakti begins. And this will dispel all the doubts and misgivings. Anarth Nivritti. And when the misgivings are given up, after these misgivings have been perfectly given, one becomes fixed in one study. Then one relishes Ruchi, study of Bhagavad Gita, and one attains the state of feeling always Krishna conscious, Bhava. In the advanced state, one falls completely in love with Krishna. Prabhupada is speaking about love here, prema. This highest perfectional stage. Now, when Prabhupada is referring to this highest perfectional stage of life, what is he referring to? Let us see who will answer. Vinuta Mataji. I'm just asking
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Yeah. This
The highest
perfection-
perfectional stage of life is associating with Krishna in his
No,
Golok
you see,
Vrindavan.
I'll just give you once again a hint. I know I'm just giving you a hint now. Just hear carefully, very carefully. So Prabhupada spoke about little faith, beginning of Krishna consciousness. And then when is fortunate and gets one actually begins to study and understand, one is placed in devotional service. Actually, one's bhakti begins. And in that association, there is sadhu sangha. And because of your study of Bhagavad Gita, because of your study of Bhagavad Gita, bhajan of Bhagavad Gita, all the anarthas are cleared, and then one attains what? Steady, nishtha. And after one starts relishing, that is ruchi in Bhagavad Gita. And then there is asakti, one is attached. Prabhupada has not spoken, but he feels a state of feeling always Krishna. This is bhava. In the advanced stage, one falls in prema, in love with the Lord. Prema. So all these stages are mentioned. Now, last statement, Prabhupada is saying this highest perfectional stage of life. Now, which stage is he referring to? Now you tell me.
That is Prema.
So when can you go back to Godhead?
When you have developed that Prema, love for Krishna.
Not at the other stages. You have to come to the point of prema. Not at the stage of anarth nivritti you'll go. You'll be given another chance, another body. If you are fortunate and you don't go to the higher realms and Mahaprabhu's movement is still going on. Otherwise, if you go to the higher realms and then come back, by the time Mahaprabhu's movement is over, then it is difficult. So better in this one life, we should come to this stage. And where it all begins,
Prabhuji?
if you want to attain this stage, where it begins?
Association of devotee, Shraddha.
Whether if you stay here, it will begin. You will stay there
Is
only.
once you-
If one doesn't search and fortunately gets that devotees association and actually begins to study and understand Bhagavad Gita. If you don't try to understand and begin, then anarth nivritti will not happen. And then one will be not fixed in one study and one will not relish Bhagavad Gita. And once you start relishing Bhagavad Gita, everything you say, Stavar deki, Jangam deki, Na deki, Tara Murti, Sarvatra hoy, Ishtadeva Spurti. Anything you see, you will see from the perspective of Shastra Chakshu. Paratra nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya mayi sarvamidam proktam sutre manigana iva. When you drink water, you will think about Krishna. Raso, this taste of water is Krishna. Always state of feeling Krishna conscious. This is the state of feeling Krishna conscious. You have to come to the state of feeling. And all this will happen when you're one fixed in study and you're relishing your study. But to relish and be fixed in study, you have to become, all the misgivings should be given up. All the doubts should be dispelled. And that will happen when you associate with a devotee who knows the Bhagavad Gita. And you actually begin to study and understand the Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, you will not attain this state. Then you will not come to prema. If you come to this, you will automatically come to prema. And only when you attain this highest perfectional stage of life enables the devotee to be transferred to Krishna's abode in the spiritual state. Golok Vrindavan, where the devotee becomes eternally happy. So please meditate on this statement. And I have a slide on this and I have to search now. Let me see. have this Bhagavad Gita. Oh, it's not here. Oh, 1 second. There is some background distraction there. Let me one other folder. Let me see. No, I'm not able to find. I'll find and I'll share it in the group also. Based on this paragraph, we had made an entire flow chart. So that ends the discussion on the Bhagavad Gita, 8th chapter. So we should, the whole purpose of studying Vishwanath Chakravarti's commentary and Rasipuranjan commentary is that devotees start very seriously studying the Bhaktivedanta purports. As Vinita Mataji, saw the purport of 8.27 and she could understand that it is speaking of devotees, who are practicing Shuddha Bhakti, not to be disturbed by the different paths, need not worry whether he, departs by accident or arrangement. So this is referring to Ananya Bhakta. So Prabhupada is speaking about the glory of Ananya Bhakti here. Yeah, any questions, any clarifications you have up till now, what we have discussed? Tomorrow we'll begin with the 9th chapter, which is a most important and interesting chapter that will take at least 7 to 8 classes. Bir Krish Prabhuji, yes, what's the question?
Prabhu, this in case of yogis and jnanis, when they practice their sadhana at the perfection stage, what inspires them to leave the gyan part and yoga part and only practice the devotional limb to get their objective? What inspires them?
Well, basically, it's not that inspiration because their sadhana is only that. And within that sadhana, there is a limb of bhakti. And ultimately, you see, they are used to it, in Nishkam Karma Yoga, they have to give up, the phala. Tektva karma phala sangam. In that sadhana only it is mentioned. So, like that, giving up, and, attaining, antakaran purification. Now, when they come to Gyan path, in the Jnana, they have to give up karma. Right? In Jnana
Yes,
Yoga, you cannot do karma yoga. They have to give up Jnana and attain Jivan Mukta. In Jivan Mukta stage, they have to give up Jnana. So that,
this
comes by the
this they
path
know
of
that after the Jivan Mukta stage they have to leave the Jnana.
Jnani cha mai sannyasat. Krishna speaks about it, right? He speaks about it, in the Uddhav Gita. So,
And
even the Jnana which is Sattva, he has to leave. But if he holds on to it, then he will stay here. And only in the end, although they are practicing the Jnana Sadhana and there is Bhakti, but in the end, they only rely on Bhakti. Interestingly, I don't want to go into the details. There is one yoga institute where there is a sannyasi who became very famous all over the world. And he has established his yoga, where they teach yoga basically. And, he's written books on yoga and he's very famous and he's having centers all over the world. And they are running well, where they teach how to practice yoga for your health. Of course, they take it as a path of spirituality, which is not possible in this age. But he also left in a holy place, his body. And in the end, he was just, as in their sadhana, they were practicing bhakti elements also. But in the end, he was not practicing yoga. He was practicing only the bhakti elements in the end. So this happens by the mercy of Bhakti Devi also, who takes a secondary role there. if he is not offensive and he is not committed any offense, then by that bhakti they might attain liberation. That's the point. Are you clear about it now?
Yes, yes. Prabhu. And Prabhu, this yogi and jnani, this path of light, they choose by their choice, or
Well, they
when
should be
they're
fortunate. If
Mm,
during the dakshina and their death comes, what to do?
mm,
They leave.
mm.
So all these, so many factors. That's why it's not so easy. It's very difficult. That is why the
Yes.
process of bhakti, you have to understand, remembering these paths, how difficult they are. And tasyam
Yes.
sulabha partha, and this is done spontaneously out of love. There is no difficulty, right?
Right,
Just
right.
like the
Thank you.
mother maintains the child because, all the difficulties she takes, morning getting up, bathing the child, cooking for the child, dressing the child, studying with the child, homework, sometimes parents are more tense than the children because of children's exams. All that anxiety they take, troubles. Why? Because they love the child. So similarly, in Bhakti Yoga, there is anxiety, troubles, but it is all done for the pleasure of Krishna. It's so called like that, because there is love for Krishna. So like that, in Bhakti Yoga, it's a yoga of love, yoga of union. Prabhupada is mentioning. When one
Thank you,
falls
bro.
in.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Anyone else has? Vinita Mataji, yes. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Prabhuji. Prabhuji,
Yes.
my question is related to chanting. Like when we chant, sometimes the beads get entangled on their own, and sometimes they open on their own, and sometimes we have to remove them. Like, why does this happen?
It's basically because, while moving the beads, it happens. It's all are in the bead bag. That's why nothing to worry about it. It just, you disentangle them and continue chanting.
And sometimes on their own they disentangle. Sometimes
Don't
we
worry
have
about
to.
that. Don't worry at
Okay.
all about it. Just hear the
Okay.
mantra.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank
Fully be absorbed in just hearing the mantra. That's it.
you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay. So thank you very much. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. हरे कृष्ण.